These are no ordinary times. 16 days seems like an eternity for most of us. No ordinary times, but these are times when extraordinary actions are required. So today, I am taking the most aggressive action yet. Effective this Thursday morning, April 2nd, until April 30th, I am ordering all Maine people to stay at home. You may leave only if you work in an essential business or to conduct or participate in some essential activity.
The client called me at home saying that they just possibly acquired a new building in Westbrook on Bradley Drive, and they wanted to go look at it the next day on Monday and thought they would have it in their hands under lease by Thursday of that same week, which they did. And we had literally 3 days to mobilize a complete team into that space.
You know, back in my mind was like, this is ridiculous, we're never gonna do this. But you never said that, you felt it. We almost were in a plane, flying the plane, but we were also building it at the same time. We knew where we were going, but we didn't know how we were gonna get there. Building the plane while we were in the air was a sort of a mantra for all of us, and in some ways, the designer was sitting next to the builder, handing them a wrench to tighten something on the plane.
The first 90-day deadline to get ready for their production, it was a crazy time, unlike anything certainly I've ever been involved in.
Everything in the factory was pretty much an open box when we started. We had to have operational lab space for production of COVID-19 tests.
Trying to foresee what they were going to need to just try to stay out in front as much as we can and steer the ship.
Very untypical is that the architect, myself, was out there actually pointing to a line on the sand where a wall should be built versus a drawing, because it was that fast, and it was like, start here, we're going to figure it out after, we'll document, we'll catch up, but this is where the walls need to go.
I remember Tim getting a carpenter's pencil out of his pocket, and we went over to a blank wall. Tim just started drawing out what he needed for staffing, equipment, everything that would possibly be needed for that project. He wrote it out, and I would say it was in probably 3 or 4 days, everything that was mapped out on that wall, Tim actually had in his hands to start work.
You know, we looked at those things that were the critical, the big picture items, the large volume spaces, and then kind of work the details in.
We just got to take the project and look at it hour by hour by hour and just finish segments and be on track, be on schedule.
We had short-term goals, and then we have long-term goals. So the short-term is get up and running as fast as we can.
We brought in temporary equipment for dehumidification, humidification, heating, cooling, basically, to get the spaces where they needed to be, because the actual equipment was, 4 to 5 months out. So we had to try to find places that we thought would be out of the way to put this equipment so we could put the permanent structure in place.
Trying to build this facility this quickly during a pandemic, certainly a challenge.
We had to get our subcontractors and our own employees on board with the COVID-19 control measures and complying with regulations. And as time went on, our disinfecting measures were better and it became more advanced, and our communication became more advanced.
We had about an hour before code was supposed to walk through this space.
And we got upwards of 75 people flooding tiles all together. It didn't matter what trade it was, plumbers, electricians, all of our Landry French folks, myself, everybody just pitched in to get the ceilings flooded and get the areas cleaned up and ready for that inspection. So that was pretty cool. Just the teamwork really just showed through on that.
Teamwork has been vital on this project. It's not just one person, the speed, the complexity of the project, everyone needed to do their part. And if we didn't all communicate and be cognizant together, it wouldn't have worked.
This project just wouldn't have been able to be done without the coordination and the personalities meshing together that they did. It just absolutely would not happen.
And keep everybody's attitude positive, whether it's providing lunches, whether it's patting people on the back saying job well done. We kept that momentum right through the whole 90 days.
one of the superintendents came to me and said, we're not going to get any more trusses to build the interior structures this week because it's a holiday weekend, and they build them for us, but we can't ship them. So I called Kevin French, and he's always supportive, and said, okay, I've got a challenge for you. I want to haul trusses up the Maine Turnpike on, Memorial Day weekend, and I want to do this for the first time ever. Long story short, we were issued a permit to bring trusses up the Maine Turnpike, the first time ever in the Turnpike's history that an over-length load was brought on a holiday weekend.
And we had a police escort across state lines with Kevin French in the lead. That's pretty impressive. It was just very special, and to be part of everything with that.
We put over $187,000 a day worth of construction in to make this project work. We had, at times, well over 200 workers on site. We had 0 lost time accidents through upwards of 300,000 man hours on site.
Almost 90,000 square feet of renovation in the first 90 days. We had everything involved in a normal project, but we did that work in 90 days.
And this project has catapulted us so much farther ahead from where we were a year ago. And it's just going to add to the success of Landry French as a company.
Next rewarding is when we're done. It's going to be that, wow, we looking back, it'll be, a real highlight in my career to think back of what we did. Even though we're still in the middle of it, knowing it's going to come to an end is a little emotional at times because it's such a special project.